bike. So anyways, I get here, so I'm in a rush. And I see the recipe, and I just print it out 40 times to realize I gave you 100 cookies. Because I heard some of you going, 4 cups of flour? How much sugar? 4 cups of sugar? What is she, crazy? This is a diabetic coma. So, but please remember, it's 100 cookies, it's not 1 cookie. So when you get home, could you like half every? So you get 50 cookies. Now you can either have a cookie, or you can have a cookie. What I did differently for you today is I've made it all gluten-free. I bought gluten-free oats, gluten-free flour, gluten-free baking soda, gluten-free powder, because I want a cookie. I haven't had a cookie in about 6 weeks, and it's time. So, anyways, we're gonna get started, and I'll show you how I've done everything. It's gonna come out. Looks like we've all seen rolled oats, okay? What I like to do with this recipe is I put it into my food processor and I make a fine powder out of it so that it's like flour. Because you have to remember, there aren't a lot of binders in here when you're doing gluten-free. But even when I make it with regular flour, I don't want big chunks of oats in this. I want to have it powdered. The other thing that is really good for you, remember, oats of any kind, even though we shouldn't have rolled oats for breakfast, we really should have still cut, it's going to lower your cholesterol. Does help cholesterol. So even though you're having a little bit of sugar and a little bit of fat and a little bit of everything, you're still getting some goodness in this cookie. The other thing I would suggest to you is I no longer use milk chocolate. I will use either a semi-sweet or a dark chocolate, so you're reducing the amount of sugar. My favorite was, as I told you, I've been really dying for a cookie, so I went to bake the other day. I think I've told you about Stephen's habits with the chocolate. So I have a big container about this big. It holds 3 kilos of chocolate chips. So for the longest time, I would label it milk chocolate, but I would put in the darkest chocolate I could find because he hates dark chocolate. So he would pour it into a coffee mug thinking I didn't know. And then he would take a mouthful thinking I would be stupid enough to think he was drinking coffee, and then I'd hear, oh shit, dark chocolate in it. So he stopped for a while. Then I put back the milk chocolate to find out that somebody else in the household might have a wee little craving for chocolate. I go to bake the other day, and there is one single lonely chocolate chip in the bottom of the container. Boiled. So when you're going to do a whole bunch of pasta for everybody for dinner, what you might want to do is get the water really boiled and turn it down or turn it off because it stays hot. So when I'm ready to start cooking, it won't take me long to get it back up to temperature. When I want to cook pasta, Joyce, do you make pasta at home? It happens. What do you put in the water to stop it from sticking? Pardon? A little bit of oil. Anybody else? Salt. Anybody else? Oil. You and Joyce are going to start to live together on a Never, ever, ever put oil in the water. Number 1, you're adding fat. Number 2, you're making the noodles slimy. The moment they're slimy, you have to rinse them. The moment you rinse them, you take the starch off. Now, some of you want to avoid eating starch. So how do I get that starch if I don't rinse my pasta? Don't eat the pasta.